I will request His Holiness to speak few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful being with you all now today. So what a beautiful hall this is. Well, it's a wonderful hall and such a wonderful institution. And great idea. This Reuben thing is very good. New Delhi, the capital of this country, is the most polluted city in the world. Do you know about that? Because second most polluted after Beijing. This city has 922 slums. And if you have so many slums in a city, you can imagine how the health of the city will be. Other people will be there. It doesn't surprise me it is the most polluted city. This concept of Reuben, you take the best from the cities, from the urban, and the best from the rural, isn't it? Isn't this the idea? We want cities free from slums, and we want villages full of amenities, basic needs. In our rural areas, we don't find amenities. We don't get, proper water, no electricity, no Wi-Fi, no schools, no colleges, and no hospitals, not proper roads. So these facilities that lack in villages are the cause for attraction of people to migrate from the villages, from the rural areas to the urban area. And urban area, we know the challenges faced, the crime. You see, the 90% of the crime in the country today is happening in not urban, rural areas. It's happening in urban areas. Any amount of infrastructure you increase in cities, still it is insufficient. Sanitation is the biggest issue. When sanitation is a problem, commuting is a problem, and availability of proper vegetable at a reasonable rate is an issue. What do you expect the people of city to be in what state? They'll be depressed. And this is what is taking over the country today, not just the country, the world. If you've been in Kerala, there you can find something different. In Kerala, there is a sort of urbanization. People live in small villages also, they get all the amenities. The whole country, if you travel, how many of you have traveled through Kerala here? Okay, how many of you have not traveled through Kerala? Raise your hand. Sometime you should take time, just drive through Kerala. You don't find a distinction between a city and village, except Cochin. Cochin I don't consider part of that. But except Cochin, even the capital city of Kerala, the Trivandrum, you find there are still pockets of urban, rural areas within the city. This is what we need. We need to protect rural areas amidst the growing cities. Bangalore was like that before. In 60s and 70s, we used to have tanks here and there, and a small village, hamlet, around those tanks, around a small little temple and tanks, and then the villagers used to live amidst city. There used to be cattle. Today in New Delhi, we find cattle on the street. They ascertain their right. The cows say, we have a right on the road. So To drive in Indian cities, I often say you need to have an animal psychology. You should know. But in the urbanization, as you're all planning, I would feel that we need to have a little pockets of vegetation, of water sources. Almost every colony has at least 20-30% of people having borewell in their own compounds. Am I correct? They have their own water, bored their own water, underground water. Our underground water has gone way down because there is no catchment area around the cities. Every lake has been dried and then, it's been converted into colonies. You only find the names in the map. So, Sarangi Tank Road. There is no tank. Sankey Tank Road. That's it, no tank. So, the water bodies need to be preserved. It's okay if it's a coastal city like Bombay. But in inland cities, we need to preserve the water sources. And often, urban cities don't have this planning. So we need to pay attention to that, and proper sewage treatment everywhere is a must. Washington is Washington DC is one such urban city which has lot of greeneries and lot of water bodies. Though Washington is landlocked, they have preserved all water bodies. There's plenty of water body everywhere. And the laws have been very strict, not like here. You give something underneath the table and, people can get away with whatever they want to do. Even our tourist places have been really, really in a mess. You have such a beautiful Meenakshi temple. All around there is that concrete jungle which is spoiled. An artist and a photographer would like to take an aerial view, a photograph of the place, all that you get is ugly buildings all around that. High-rise buildings. And you go to Tiruvannamalai here and you see the beautiful hillock and the rocks have been all chopped and slums have come up all the way. We have been not kind to our own tourist places. Lack of infrastructure, lack of facilities. Hardly people get a clean, neat guest house or a hotel in many of these places. This is an issue. Okay, let us take a look at China. China, every year, 600 cities are getting added in China. New cities are coming into existence. They have the issue of water. They don't treat water well. So, they have severe water shortage. But they are taking a very good measure. They are trying to preserve chunks of villages in between big cities and are giving them a particular profession. If you want needles, you go to one village, they make only needles. This is one of the reasons of growing economy in China is, suppose you need leather, you go to one area, a particular village, you will get all leather items there. Buttons, they have one village which just makes only buttons. Different type of buttons. We used to have this in this country too. The brass work was always from Moradabad. Chanpatna was known for toys. Mysore was known for sandalwood and silks. But systematically we have with wrong policies destroyed this cottage industry. So for ruralization, you must remember cottage industry need to be revived. Without that, this cannot happen. Do you agree with me? How many of you agree with me? How many of you agree with me? How many of you? Yeah, cottage industry need to be improved. And then where there is peace, there is prosperity. Of 612 districts in this country, 212 are affected by Naxalism. And that's exactly the number of districts which are cash-starved, lot of unemployment, development-starved districts. If 1/3 of this country is in poverty, severe poverty, the reason is lack of peace. See, when there is no peace, nobody wants to go and work there. What do you say? Would you like to, anyone here would like to go and start a business or venture in a place where there is gunshots being fired every now and then? I am not getting any answer from that side. No. What do you need? A peaceful atmosphere where people can walk in the street fearlessly. Men or women should be able to carry on with their business, should be able to talk to people, not with the fear of being extracted, fear of being robbed, or fear of getting a gun into your head. Right? Are you all here? I'm not getting a big yes. Oh yeah, now. So peace is essential. Now we have been working with these communities in the villages. You know, we have started, we are running about 412 schools in rural areas in these 212 districts, especially in these districts which are affected by Naxalism. 44,000 kids are studying in these schools. You know, you ask a boy or girl, what do you want to become? Just a 10-year-old boy. You know what? He'll smile and say, become an Axel. With pride he says, Axel, because they didn't have any other role model other than becoming an Axel. So why you want to become an Axel? I can fire. I get a gun, I get money. I want to change the country, so I want to have a gun and I want to become an Axel. My goodness, it took a while to bring a change, make a difference in the mindset of these young children. What, 10, 12, 15, 20? You know, 30 years ago, in Assam, people had this. People had brainwashed people of Assam. I mean, it was genuine. They had grievances. It's all politicizing that had happened. The Assamese, ASU students from colleges, they left their career. They left everything. All that wanted is prosperity of Assam. They wanted their self-pride, a place for their self-pride. Any Assamese here in this hall? Raise your hand. Yeah. You know, Assam is so rich in resources and such a beautiful culture, beautiful people. But their voice were not heard by the politicians. So the young boys, students stood up. They wanted self-rule. They wanted the Bangladeshis to go out. They wanted oil-rich Assam should benefit the rural people of that province. The center goes and takes all the oil from Assam and gives very little back to the development of Northeast. This is a very genuine issue. You know how many youths took to gun? Because all negotiations failed. All peace processes failed. At the same time, some people misguided them also. You have to see both sides of the story. We had 350 Ulfa boys who come and stay here in the ashram for a month. Does it scare you? These boys for 15 years, 20 years, they were in jungles with guns. They slept in the forest for so many years. They slept in the forest. Rice, they would put water in the rice, boil it again and again, 2-3 times the same ganji. Now ganji in Teltivala. The liquid from the rice, boiled rice, that liquid, that they used to drink and eat some fruits that was widely available in the forest. Like this, these kids had survived. Because they had one vision in their mind, independence. Today the concept has changed. We need to move from independence to interdependence. Why we need independence? We want to be prosperous. Prosperity comes when we realize we are interdependent. No state, no country in the world can claim we are independent today. We are all interdependent. That's why European Union got formed. You know, I spoke to them. What is your goal? We want prosperity. 60 years of independence, we don't have water, we don't have electricity, we don't have schools, we don't have hospitals. What is this independence for? So we want to be independent. I told him, look, let us work together. Only peace can bring prosperity. You know, these same youths today, 350 of them, they came out of the gun culture, they dropped the guns, they've started their own small-scale industries. They have started plowing, they have started agriculture, they have started different professions. This is what we need to encourage in this country. Don't you think so? Not everyone will be able to get a job, but there is enough potential to be entrepreneurs. And with Ruben idea, you have plenty of opportunity to become entrepreneurs. I think the best of the villages. How many of you have visited the tribal villages here? Raise your hand. How many of you visit tribal villages? How many of you have not visited tribal villages? Raise your hand. But some of you are not raising hand for both. What is the matter? You are shy? Huh? So tribal villages, you go and see in Jharkhand, they are so much cleaner than any urban city. Do you agree with me? They are so clean. Tribal villages are clean. There's no plastic laying here and there. The cows are not eating the plastics. Tribal villages are very clean. They put that little rangoli in front of their home every day morning. I was so impressed by the cleanliness that's prevailing in these villages. If even a portion of it is inculcated in our cities, will be much cleaner city. Isn't it? Do you agree with me? Huh? So we need to bring peace. To bring peace in society, we need to bring the trust between people. In village, people trust each other. In cities, that is disappearing. That is one of the reasons for anxiety. What is the use of living in a big, nice house when you are full of anxiety, depression, and emotional turmoil, and all sorts of illness harboring in your body? Huh? Health. When it comes to health, I would say also yoga is one of that. You have to see that people practice yoga. How many of you here do some yoga or have done yoga sometime or other? Yeah, done. Okay, how many of you have not done? Those of you who have not done, just do it. Do it and see. Do some yoga and some pranayama. See how energy and enthusiasm just comes bubbling inside of you. This time, when our Prime Minister noted the International Yoga Day, 177 countries supported this move. This is a historic one. No other resolution previously has been supported by so many countries. Mind you, this includes the Islamic countries. This includes all of the, including Islamic, 177 countries. The world has started recognizing how the ancient wisdom has relevance today. In what sense? It can help you to keep a very sane and stable mind. It can help you to develop and build the confidence, creativity, intuition, sense of well-being. And at the same time, our behavior with people around us becomes better. See, when you have a lot of stress and we have a lot of work to do, naturally stress builds up. But we should know how to get out of the stress, how to get rid of stress. And here the meditation, yoga, all this helps. For conflict resolution, for better health, focused mind, intuitive ability, getting creative ideas, all this is possible. Plus the peace in society. Peace in society. As I said, peace is essential for prosperity to come. Otherwise, for small little things, big fights happen and the whole atmosphere gets disturbed. Today in America, there are more gun stores than grocery stores. How many of you knew this before? How many of you didn't know this? Raise your hand. You didn't know there are more gun stores than grocery stores because there is fear in the population. When there is fear in the population, that is when its economy starts crashing down. Where does America wonder where it is going down today? You can't imagine. Today there people are wanting to bring a change, do something different. You know, you never know, you go to college and one crazy guy comes and starts shooting 20 people in the college and you have to land up in hospital and sometime in graveyard. Why this? Fear psychosis. Fear has gripped the population. Nobody will trust anybody. This type of atmosphere. See what happened day before yesterday. One man was walking and the police was so afraid. Maybe he's a terrorist. Shot an innocent person. Innocent person. So how can you claim you are free? You can't go for a walk freely somewhere. This is a serious issue. I don't blame you, because it is because of the fear psychosis that is not just in the public, but also in the administration, but also in the police, who have guns. And media is also responsible, because in media every day we see what's happening in the world. So much crime everywhere. Crime was there before also, but media has exposed it so much that it has set in the minds of people that fear psychosis has come in. So to get rid of fear psychosis, community living, trust between the community, between members of the society, close interaction, all this is needed. This is possible only in, come on, urbanization. In urban society it's not possible. This is possible only in when there is an amalgamation of urban and rural areas. We take the best from the rural, best from the urban, and build communities which has all amenities, yet feel safe, secure, and comfortable with each other. Okay? That's it. So, we need spirituality as a part of this, I tell you. Very much needed. Okay? You have some questions, I'll take it. Anyone has any question? Yeah.
My pranams, Guruji.
Yes.
Yeah, today's world is becoming extremely materialistic. We keep chasing even for small things. Though we know this is all Maya and nobody is going to be eternal. Now in this world, how do we balance, how do we seek solace that we are not caught in the whole chasing for materialistic things alone? It's very relevant that you said all these problems of anxiety, tension is all because of our materialistic pursuits. So how do we balance that and calm ourselves or see the bigger role for us in life?
Yes. Keeping in view of these questions which were asked me several times, that's why I made this program called Art of Living. 6 days, 2 hours each day, or 3 days, 4 hours each day, 5 hours. You learn all the principles, how to handle the mind in a tense situation, in a confusion, chaos, how to move through those situations. Yeah? And breathing exercises, different type of breathing exercise help us to calm our mind down and be centered. Yeah? It's available all over the world. Anywhere you can learn it.
Good morning, Guruji.
Yeah?
Here.
Yes, tell me.
Somewhere here. Thank you. And I have a doubt in the topic itself. Is it changing opportunities for developing or artificializing the rural society? Because we the humans are concretizing the whole world. We are going against the nature, so we are developing or artificializing the the world.
The question is not clear. Do you mean that the concrete jungle is no good, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, we are comforting ourselves. The comfortness we are doing for the prosperity or the other way around.
Prosperity is for comfort, no? Why you want money? So that you can be comfortable, right?
And what I want to say is, once anyone who is working for 20,000 doesn't want 15,000 for the salary, so when rural people come to urban, they don't wish to go to back for their own place.
Correct.
Is it that a problem in the psychology, or we are used to the comfort?
Yeah, both. One thing is in rural areas, you don't get those comforts. And second is this one, you get used to, there is a psychologically feeling that, better I stay in a city, there are more opportunities, job opportunities are there. Sort of that type. But it's changing. These days, people from Mumbai and Delhi wish to go to areas like Dehradun, Haridwar, or Powai, or in the suburbs of Pune. The change is also happening. Otherwise, small cities won't grow.
Spirituality for this Reuben society. So I, as a person, would like to know what is the definition, meaning of spirituality.
Yeah, spirituality is honoring human values more than material. Honoring your more than money. Honoring your relationship with your parents more than money. Do you understand what I'm saying? And spirituality is what? Integrity, compassion, sense of belongingness with everybody, or as many people as you can. And the sense of comfort within yourself. You feel calm, happy, serene, sensitive, sensible. All this is part of spirituality. So all that you don't want others to do to you, you not doing to others is spirituality.
So, Guruji, the concept of God doesn't include in spirituality.
Spirituality not necessarily have to have God. Like Buddhism and Jainism and yoga in the discipline, you don't need to believe in God. But you can realize who you are.
Yeah, Guruji, thank you. I have another question. Means what is the ultimate goal that we need to achieve as human beings if we believe in salvation?
Yeah, we need to know from where we have come and where we'll be going. Life is not just this 80, 90, 100 years. This planet is being here for billions of years. Not millions, but billions. And so are we. Something in us, the energy in us is also like that. It is a continuum. Before here you have been there before, and you will be there in the after also. So who am I? What is this self? Knowing this would give that purposefulness in life. Yeah?
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay, done.
Hello.
Okay, one last question. Yeah.
Namaste Guruji, myself Naresh. My question to you is this, in the present context of the world, people are more behind money than the moral values that they actually need to follow. It's like, in the same way, crime rate is also increasing today. People have, ego and jealous, against each other. In that competition, people have tendency to do any kind of, crime. So, as you said, urbanization can bring, the change. But I don't see that people,
in media you see this more, but actually there are more good people than bad people on this planet.
You're right, Guru.
There are good people. There are people for the sake of, I gave a call for volunteer for Better India. So many youths joined, lakhs of them. And we said we want 100% voting. We did vote for Better India campaign. We could enroll so many people as voters. I know Election Commissioner had appreciated the effort of BBI and gave them an award. Said it's unprecedented because youth went door to door and we did happiness surveys. So many people did so many good things. There are a lot of youths today engaging themselves in social work.
I do agree, people, engaged in social work,
Yeah.
but still, crime still existing.
Crime still exists, we need to take it. I agree that.
So, what measures can be taken to eradicate?
More and more volunteers coming together and working for it.
So you
We
think,
want a violence-free and crime-free, violence-free, stress-free society.
you think urbanization can bring a change, the complete change 5 years down the line?
It should be part of it. It should be part of that program. Huh? People-to-people contact, creating understanding, reducing the stress level should be part of any urbanization.
Thank you very much.
Can I, Guruji? Pranam, Guruji. For self-realization and attaining of moksha, which marga is the best, Guruji? Is it Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Guruji?
You know, they all go together.
They all have to interlink with each other.
Yes, like if you pull one leg of a chair, the whole chair comes, right?
Yes.
Like that. I'll give you a simple example. Suppose you like gulab jamun. Unless you know what is gulab jamun, how can you like it? So liking is bhakti, knowing is knowledge. When you know it and when you like it, will you keep quiet? Yes, you will prepare it or you will go and buy it. That is karma. So all three are there together.
Yes, good. Thank you so much, Guruji.
This person wants to ask.
And last question, Guruji. Pranams. My humble pranams. We spoke a lot about urbanization, and it is in the good health of the society on an overall basis. This has been recognized by the government also. Okay, if we observe the budget allocations, we can find that more than 85,000 crores have been allotted every year from our budget for this urbanization. But this money is not reaching the grassroots level.
I know that is the biggest.
Money is the most important criteria for doing all these things. But government is also providing it, but it's not reaching the grassroots levels. That's my observation.
My hope is there will be a change in this. What's happening?
Last question, sir. Good afternoon, Guruji. First of all, whether spirituality is going behind the religiosity or religiosity is going behind the spirituality. Because for the development of urbanization, spirituality is very important, you told, to maintain the peace. To maintain the peace, whether we have to follow spirituality as a religiosity or religiosity in concern with spirituality. It's my question.
See, religion is related to rituals. Your naming ceremony, how your marriage happens, how the child is named, how you will be cremated. This is all religion. Spirituality is that by which you connect to yourself, which kindles all those beautiful human qualities that you have. So spirituality unites people of all religion. And it is the essence of all religion, I would say. Religion has its place. I don't say we should get rid of religion. No. Religion should have its place. But without spirituality, religion is like a banana without a banana inside. It's only skin.
Thank you, Guruji.
It's already started.
So, this is Guruji, Pranam. My question is very simple, just how do I know I'm thinking by mind or by heart? How do I know?
You are thinking by?
I'm thinking by mind or by heart. How do I recognize?
You always think by mind, feel by heart. Okay? So when you do business, do it with your head, and when you want to relate to make friendship, do it with your heart. Don't calculate your friendship. You know, you can't say, oh, this person has more money to spend, oh, let me be friend with him. That's not a friendship.
I request the dignitaries to step on stage for a photo session with Guruji to make this a memorable one.